Hi. So we're going to do March's Q&A on the 1st of April today with my really loud dog. So sorry we're a bit late with this one, but here we go. So the first one is from Mummies Do Gloss. And the question is, hello from Dubai, I'm 34 years and diagnosed with osteoporosis. Recently found out I'm intolerant to gluten. Could this be the link to why my bones are getting progressively weaker? Everything else is healthy. Would love to know your opinion. Thank you very much. So yes, so it could be that, because the problem is when you're gluten intolerant, you tend not to absorb nutrients so well, and osteoporosis at 34 is really young. But it would mean, you know, if you're not absorbing calcium into the bone, not into the tissue, then that could be made worse by the fact that you're gluten intolerant. So you would need to think, and also if you're suffering from stress, leaky gut, all those things can make your absorption of calcium much worse. If you're deficient in magnesium, because magnesium helps you absorb it into the bone rather than just into the tissue. So try and treat the gut, try to make sure you've got your magnesium profile is good. Actually, Claire Lucy Beauty later asks about what good sources of calcium are and how you can get it. So this would apply to you too. Sesame, kale, fish are really good non-dairy sources. Because the thing is, dairy has a lot of calcium in it. It's just hard to get it into the bone. So you want to have things that are high in calcium and in magnesium. So things like green leafy vegetables are really good. Eggs are really good, and fish are really good. So sesame are really good. So try those things and yeah, see how you get on with those. Obviously you should be taking probably a supplement, but I'm sure you've organised that with your doctor. Good calcium supplements to take. Find a good brand that you like. Make sure you get one that's calcium and magnesium mix, because they help each other, as I've said, to get the calcium into the bone rather than just into the tissue. So I hope that helps. Okay, next, Ruth Mendes 77. So then I got a question from Ruth Mendes 77 asking, so she says, I've heard that some fruit and veg should never be mixed with other foods. For example, I always have freshly squeezed orange with a sandwich in the morning and was told that the combo of orange and bread is really bad. Is that true? And if it is, maybe you could tell us some other examples of bad combos. Thank you so much. So when I read that, I immediately thought about fruit. We often eat fruit after a meal. In fact, the best time to eat fruit is before a meal. Fruit digests much further down the alimentary canal. So if we have, which we often have for our meal, proteins, like a steak or chicken or whatever, a fish, then you have fruit. It sits on top of that protein because the protein gets digested in the stomach, and then the fruit sits on top and it ferments, and then it causes bloating. So that's one tip. You should always eat fruit first. In this case, the thing is that what happens with the acid, citric acid, or you know, the acids in citrus fruit, is that they inhibit the enzyme that helps to break down starch, which would be the starch that is in bread. So if you have orange juice with sandwich, or you know, anything starchy, or you know, any citrus fruit with it, it stops you breaking down the starch. So you should try and have your orange juice again half an hour before or half an hour after. Give your body some space to be able to break down the starch and then have the juice later. Otherwise, there are all sorts of food combining things that work for people. So people don't like to mix carbohydrate and protein. Then there are things people don't like to mix acidic foods and alkaline foods. So, and these things do work. If you have problems with your digestion, fiddling around with it can help. I find keeping it simple, so not, if you have got a weak digestion, keeping it really simple, so giving your body one type of food at each meal time tends to help your digestion along. Also, you could try things like the apple cider vinegar just before you eat to get your stomach acid up. Pineapple and papaya are really good digestive aids. Just things to boost your digestion. And Claire Lucy Beauty, we've answered a bit about the calcium. There are a few other bits that said, what calcium tablet would you recommend? Well, as I said, something with magnesium from other companies. I like to use a Nutri-Advanced or Lambert's. Just find a good quality. Supplements are definitely the amount of money you spend on them counts. You know, you get what you pay for. Would I consider doing a vlog of what I eat each day? I will do that. And lastly, raw chocolate bars, what would I recommend? Is there other expensive ones that you've tried? Because they are expensive. What's a really nice one? I like the conscious chocolate. I like the orange chocolate, conscious chocolate ones, because sometimes they are really expensive, but they're also really rich, so you don't need as much, in my opinion. Okay, next one. Green life in Dublin. I would love to know practical tips on how we can tip our bodies into an alkaline state and how to detox the liver properly. Okay, so alkaline state is just chipping away at it, in my opinion. You have, everything, not everything. We live in a very acidic environment. Cheese, dairy, meat, fried food, alcohol, coffee, fizzy drinks, sugar. Those are all acidic things, and they are a major part of our diet nowadays. So to get an alkaline state, I think it's just gently chip away at it, trying to always choose the more alkaline of the options, or the most alkaline, so fresh fruit, fresh veg, trying to sort of use things like spirulinas and wheatgrass that are very alkalizing, trying to reduce coffees, sugar. I mean, sugar's a really big one, I think. Red wine over white wine. It's all the little things all day long that you can do help to bring an alkaline state. Also stress, reducing stress. You have to it has to be an overall complete attack on acid and then you'll get there, hopefully. And to do a liver detox, it depends what you're trying to achieve with the liver detox. There are many different ways of doing it. I think, if you want to do a really harsh one, but a gentle one would be just making sure that you cut out booze, cut out caffeine, increase your water, try and have lemon in your water, use milk thistle. You could do, if it was me and I was doing like a gentle one, make sure you have lots of greens in there, cruciferous vegetables, some sulfur vegetables to help with sulfication, and methylation of the liver. So, just do that over a week. I would just do a vegetable. That's what I do. I do vegetables for a week, vegetables. Or you could do a juice fast, which is something else I'm a big fan of.